How we doing, guys? Myself, Preddie Obe, hitting you with a quick one. Real Talk True Season. This is like a story time slash reality slash real life all in mixed in one. Put it this way, all I'm trying to say is I'm a big man. You know what's there? Grown man. 3 kids. You know what's there? Man's a big pooper out here. You know what's there? And I was running down the road away from a youth. Now let's get into the dilemmas first. You lot are probably reading it thinking Preddie Obe has to run from youth. You know what's like? Yeah, real talk. Real talk in the dunya, and this goes out to the parents and also to you kids. I say it to you guys all the time, and this is something that happened today. This happened right now in the sense of a couple of hours ago. I'm going to the post office, literally get out of my car, going to the post office. I'm standing on the corner talking to my mum. Imagine that. I'm standing on the corner talking to my mum. A guy comes up to me, starts to try like, what their parents for what they call it G-checking. Man G-checks me. Man's like, yo fam, where you from? What you doing around here? Do you know where you are? I'm like, yeah, I know where I am. You know, one's there, said where I was, said I was from over there, because these are the kind of times when you're grown, you don't have nothing to hide. Man said to me, all right, cool, I was just making sure. He's flithered away. No one's there standing around, mingling around, doing whatever. You get me? I'm actually, at the same time, I continue to have a conversation with my mum. So I'm talking to my mum. Yeah, mum, this has just been going on, all the rest of it. I'm just going to the post office, all the rest of it. Man comes back to me again the second time. Man's like, bruv, what are you still standing there for, fam? What are you still standing there for, fam? And I'm looking at my man like, big man, like, what is the problem? Like, I don't understand. Like, you know, I'm talking on the phone to my mum. What is it, bruv? Move from the area, bruv. Move from the area. Now, in that point of moment, there's 9 times out of 10 our young people are facing these kind of situations, and you're automatically feeling to rise up. Your ego's now feeling a little bit bruised. You done told my man that it's not that. You kind of slightly tried to G-check me. I told you that I'm talking to the mumsy, and now you're telling me move. So in them kind of case scenarios, young people, the best situation for you to do in that situation is remove yourself from the situation. That's what I did. So I decided to say, all right, big man, cool. I'm going to continue about my business. So I carried on walking. Went to the post office, got my little tutu letter, do my thing. Went across the road to get a nice little kebab. You get me? I thought, yeah, little kebab. I'm just going to go and treat myself. So I went across the road. You know, one's there, getting my kebab. The guy walks past again, and now he's standing outside the shop, giving me that mean stare, that mean look. I'm thinking, oh, for flip's sake, what's going on with this guy? Like really, big man, what's going on? I bust the door, and I'm like, big man, you cool? Man's like, what is it, fam? What is it, fam? Man telling me, come outside. Now he's got his hands in his pocket. Man's shifting around. He's acting erratic. Now, mind you, man's on the main road. There's cameras. Obviously, you've now come into the kebab shop. There's people there. There's witnesses. And the fact that you're still being confident, and still the fact that you're still being brave enough to do whatever it is that you feel like you want to do or not do, makes me sit there and be like, okay, cool, there's a real concern. So once again, young people, when you're faced with these kind of situations 9 times out of 10, you're probably sitting there thinking, raw, like, man's probably got a knife. I'm going to probably have to fight him. Sometimes you might even have a knife on you. These are the kind of times when you can't even be going down that road. So I stayed in the shop. You know, no one's there. I stayed in the shop for a second. The woman was like, oh, don't go out there. I said, no, I'm not going to go out there. I'm not trying to cause no problem. So the best thing is to stay inside. Stay in the shop. Do you know what I mean? If you can even ask them to call 999 or the rest of it. But I thought, let me just stay in the shop, wait for this guy to go, calm down or whatever, and then diffuse the situation that way. Because 9 times out of 10, when we're coming up with what's going on now, all these youths have got knives. All these youths are acting erratic and all the rest of it for no reason. Just upset. They've got trauma, suffering through mental health. So at one stage, I'm looking at the guy like, I totally don't blame you. You probably got a hard life. He doesn't even realise that I go into schools, colleges, youth clubs and teach young people about trauma. I would have loved to have been able to talk to him. He was so erratic, like, don't talk to me. It was such a shame, do you know what I mean? Because 9 times out of 10, this guy's probably suffering. Do you know what I mean? He's probably suffering at home. He's probably woke up this morning, probably got a bad life. His mum might be an alcoholic, drug dependent. He might be even getting groomed by himself. He might be a son out you. You know what's there? Man, they might be sending him to the shop. He might have been moved to. So all these kind of things I was sitting there looking at thinking, right, this guy's probably more hurt or more damaged than me. And for me, in this situation of who I am as a grown man, I can diffuse this situation. It doesn't even need to get out of control. So I've come out of the shop now. I haven't seen him. I carried on walking and everything. I've looked across the road. He's there. He's just decided to start following me now. This is where it gets peak. You know what I'm there? Because obviously you're earning the title, man's running. You get me? So I'm walking now with my kebab and everything. And a part of me was just like, do you know what, Chris? You know, when they're in this situation, self-defense, defend yourself and all these kind of stuff. But once again, I was thinking about it morally. I was thinking, raw, this guy obviously is not well. And obviously we both can be put in a situation. Yes, I could have fought and all the rest of it. And done what? Beat him up? Okay. Now get ABH, GBH, get a charge for what? For someone that I didn't even want to fight with, someone that actually needs support, actually needs help. What if he did pull out a knife now and stab me? Now all of a sudden I'm being stabbed just because of something that he felt like he was hyping up just for a split second of something that I don't even know. I don't even know who he is. Never met him in my life. For what reason? So I'm not going to lie. He was walking behind me and everything. I was walking with my kebab guys. I'm not going to lie. Just da-da-da-da-da. When I hit the corner, man went 0 to 100 real quick. Usain Bolt stuff. No, like, man was 10 toes in. And I'm not going to lie. I hit the corner. And man was ducking. I'm not going to lie. If people would have been seeing from the window, they would have been like, rah, why is man running like that? Like, man was proper. And even in myself, I said to myself, rah, I'm a big grown-ass man, 35, and I'm hauling up the road. And I'm not holding up the road because I'm scared. I'm not holding up the road because I feel, but I just felt like to myself, that was the best situation. Get yourself out of the situation. Just run, bruv. You know one's there because obviously he's following you. Obviously he's going to create another madness. So I kicked out. Yeah, 10 toes. I'm not going to lie. 10 toes. 10 toes, I was out of there. So kids, once again, in these kind of situations, don't be afraid to run. Don't try and sit there and try and be a hero. Don't try and sit there, because I know 9 times out of 10, my pride was bruised. My ego was bruised. He bruised it so many times. He bruised it when he G-texted me. He bruised it when I said I was on my phone to my mum, and man told me, move, 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 move. Then I moved. Then he came outside the chip shop and said whatever I got to say. Then I left the chip shop, decided to... These are the kind of things where it's like, yeah, you could easily sit there and say, no, man's not having that. Man's not having that. Having what? What do you do? What would I have gained out of doing anything to this you? And once again, I'm not saying I couldn't fight him. I looked like I could take him. Cool. But what would that have done? And once again, we've got to be speaking at these parents in the sense of, I was just able enough to deal with that situation. I was able enough to see this guy and think the way that I think. What if he would have met up with someone else that wasn't thinking the same thing? What if another kid was walking down the street and it's half term right now and they were just going to the shop, 18, 19, going to the shop and met up with someone like him and wouldn't know how to diffuse that situation, wouldn't know how to get around that situation. Now, I don't know who this guy is and all the rest of it, but I want you guys to be alert and be more careful when we're out and about. It's all said and done when you're saying to people, oh, defend yourself and react in a certain way. 9 times out of 10, we are suffering so much that this young boy felt like he needed to do whatever he felt like he needed to do, in a sense of whether he was feeling like he wanted to threaten me, where he felt like he wanted to take out a knife and fight me. All I know is 9 times out of 10, whatever was going on behind closed doors and what's going on in his life was much more a ripple effect of me. Just someone trying to say he's had nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? He just met me on that day. You know what I'm saying? So 9 times out of 10, when you do see people, if you're out and about, do take that in consideration. Look at that person in the sense of, he's a child. You know, he's got a mum. He's probably got sisters, aunties. And we need to start looking at people like humans. And the best situation that happened in that situation, we both walked away from it. I didn't get hurt. He didn't get hurt. Okay, yeah, I ran. But we both walked away from that situation. No one was hurt. It was just a couple of word plays that's got thrown here and there. And now all of a sudden, that's been dissolved. That's been diffused. Because how much times do we hear about these case scenarios and young people are being stabbed? Young people are being shot. Young people are going back and forth. And these are the kind of things and the reasons why gangs and feuds just carry on going, because you took my friend, I took your friend, and it just kind of keeps going back and forth, back and forth. But I really wanted to give you a real case scenario and a story time on how easy it is to be put in a situation. And this is just for me as a grown-up adult. So you can only imagine what a 17, 18, 19-year-old boy would be thinking. And I also want you guys to sign this petition, guys. You know what's there? These are the reasons why if anyone's carrying a knife, they should be getting like a minimum sentence, because this guy looked like he probably had a knife and is running down the street and he could really, really injure someone just because of the trauma. And if we're not building our community, if we're not trying to help in the sense of 9 times out of 10, when you're seeing so much people within the community like youth workers and organizations, they're trying to do their best to support young men like this, and we need to support them. We don't need to just sit there and close our doors and be like, yeah, that's Justin and rare. I always knew he's going to go to prison. Someone's going to get hurt if we don't step up and do something. So please, guys, if you're ever in these kind of situations, please try and diffuse it. Please try and stop it. And 9 times out of 10, support the people that are actually doing the great work within their community. Young people as well, if you're ever facing these kind of choices and these kind of scenarios, we can do the A, B, and C scenario right now. A, I could have fought and got a criminal record, ABH, GBH. B, he could have stabbed me. I could have been dead 6 feet deep. C, run. And both of us got to live a new day, got to live another life. So once again, don't always sit there and allow your pride or your ego to overcome what you really love in life. I love my family. I want to go home to my family. I want to go home to my kids. And these are the kind of things that allowed me to override that situation and also think about it logically. But what's you guys' thoughts? Comment below.